as the Flow are set to take on their second game of the weekend against the Minnesota Mavericks. The Flow coming off of a devastating loss from last night's game, losing to the Sioux Falls Power 9-0. 50 seconds remaining in the warm-up period as we get ready for game number 2 of the last tournament travel season. Flow taking on the Minnesota Mavericks. So Flow are head coached by Dane Severinsen, assisted by Paul Rohrer and Randy Huvestal. I'm your host, Tim Zander, saying welcome to Flow Hockey. With that, we're going to run down a few sponsors real quick as we want to thank them for making this season possible. Capital City Construction, Fish Creek Contracting, Hollivit and Welk, Legacy Financial Partners, Maring Williams Law, Innovation Health Services, Security First Bank, Starion Bank, Skills Electric. And this weekend's broadcasted games are brought to you by Crosscheck Podcast. The goal of this podcast is to uncover the mindset, hockey IQ, and faith principles that help top hockey players and coaches succeed on and off the ice. With that, we have 15 minutes on the clock. 2 teams, 2 referees, and 1 puck to get tossed around for the next 15 minutes in period number 1. I'm your host, Tim Zander, alongside the camera lady, Kathy, who has been gracious enough to help us throughout this tournament season. As you guys would be watching a lot of dead space on the ice as I try to write stats and keep the game flow going. Beautiful day here in Plymouth, Minnesota. 80-some degrees this morning already. My beautiful wife and I went for a walk and it was a little warm. Starting in net for the Flow is going to be Trip Thompson. Defensively for the Flow, they are going to send out Rohrer along with Huvestal. And for the forwards on the right wing, we're going to have Vasquez. On the left side, we're going to have Mormon. And centering that line, we're going to have Chalupa. Mavericks with the puck off the near boards, held in as Chalupa picks it up, sends it off the boards, back to Rohrer, behind his own net. Reverses direction off the boards at the half wall, held in by the Mavericks. Shot coming high up and hits the end boards. And to the far side, that one hits somebody in front. Vasquez with the puck, just off his stick, as Huvestal tries to bat that one past the defenders from the Mavericks, and she works him off the puck as Chalupa picks it up. And the Mavericks able to hold that one in. Huvestal sends that one out of the zone, and the Mavericks going to have to come back all the way down into the D zone with 14-18 remaining in the first period. 0-0 is your score. Severinsen with the puck sends it to the far side for Marmon. Marmon taking his time, wants to get it back to Severinsen, but it thread the needle. And the Mavericks pick it up. Brondike with the puck. He has Davis cutting to the middle. Brondike loses the puck. As the puck comes all the way back, Rooney with it. Centering pass. Try to get that to Brondike off his stick. Went to center ice, and the Mavericks having to regroup. Intercepted by Marmon. He sends that down. He has Brondike forechecking on the play, going below the goal line, looking for a centering pass. That one goes off the wall on the near side. Mavericks cutting down, and Rooney. And kind of a quiet whistle, but we have an offside on the Mavericks. Face off to the left side of the Mavericks goalie as Huvestal steps in to take the face off, won by the Flow, taken away by the Mavericks. As Huvestal, she is able to gain possession. Mavericks pick it up now as that one was knocked away. Mavericks behind their own net. Hard off the wall. Huvestal pinches on the play. That puck gets by her. Roar's back. Pick up the loose puck behind his own net. He gets knocked off the puck by two players from the Mavericks. Hard off the wall out to the point. Mishandled by the defenseman from the Mavericks. And that one goes all the way down the ice with 12:45 remaining in the first period. We want to thank everybody for watching this morning's game as it's being broadcast live from the Plymouth Ice Center in Plymouth, Minnesota. Roar trying to thread the needle. Gets it over to Vasquez. He's got to get on his horse to win that race to the loose puck, picked up by the Mavericks. Icing coming up on the Mavericks. Sorensen taking the draw. Mavericks high off the glass and out of the zone. Try to get it around the defense. Marmon letting that forward sneak behind him as the Mavericks were able to chip it around the board down below the defense. Shot on that one goes past the glove of Thompson to make it 1-0 Mavericks. With 12:07 remaining in the first period, Mavericks strike first. To make it a 1-0 game. Chalupa stepping in to take the draw at center ice. Gets it back to Rooney. Off the stick of Brondike. Brondike and Chalupa working along the far side, trying to knock that puck loose as the Mavericks send that down below the goal line into the near corner. Cutting to the middle. Defense standing there watching him cut to the middle, giving him the opportunity right in front of Thompson. Chalupa cutting in. Elbows coming up high, both teams. As the Mavericks turning on that one, and Rooney picks it up. Trying to get it to Davis, not able to do so. Comes off the boards right at the half wall. And shot high and wide. Mavericks picking it up. They're going to have to regroup. Davis on the forecheck. Mavericks one pass, get it into the offensive zone. Shot coming, screen shot. Thompson watching that one all the way into the pads with 11:07 remaining in the period. Roar picking up the puck off his backhand, taken away by the Mavericks. And they're going to have to regroup at center ice. Huvestal on the forecheck. Paige Huvestal trying to create a turnover. Awkward bounce off the side wall, and the Mavericks able to pick it up. Huvestal still with it. Her sister Macy sends that one down behind the net of the Mavericks as comes out to Mitzel. She sends that out to Rohrer, and they're going to have to regroup. Mavericks with puck possession as Mitzel knocks her man off the puck. She's going to get a line change. Huvestal coming in to make some contact as it's picked up by the Mavericks, getting across center ice. Roar picking it up, puts on the brakes, throws that one right into the wall, and the Maverick player able to knock him off the puck and gets it into the zone as the Mavericks send it down behind Thompson. 10 minutes remaining in the first period. Flow trailing by a score of 1-0. Mavericks winning all the battles to the loose pucks along the boards. As Roar sends that off the boards, comes out to the defense, and the Mavericks having to regroup. Coming into the near side. As Huvestal picks that puck up, sends it to the far side to Vasquez, picked up by... Trying to see who that was. Chalupa, maybe? Mavericks able to hold it in out to the point on the right side. Shot coming from the point, hits Thompson. Huge rebound, and Rooney's right there to knock it away with 9 minutes remaining in the first. Hard shot from the point. That one hits Thompson high in the pads. Comes right out to the top of the crease, and Rooney's there to get a stick on it and clear that out of the zone, as the Mavericks were nowhere to be found on that one. That one was kind of hanging out there on a... Mavericks controlling play thus far in the game for the first 7 minutes here. Now they've been spending a majority of their time down in the defensive zone for the Flow, as the Mavericks coming into the corner, half wall, near side, try to get it out to the point. Davis battling for the puck. Puck comes out. They say it's not offside as Brondike comes in. That's Marmon. And the Mavericks down in the defensive zone behind their own net. 8:21 remaining in the first. Flow trailing by a score 1-0. You're watching Flow Hockey, brought to you by the Beauty Hockey League. Macy, who was still off the boards, up to Mitchell. She gets elbowed off the puck, and it comes out to center ice, and the Mavericks having to regroup. Chalupa trying to hold that one in. He would have been on a clear path to the net by himself if he could have regained possession of that puck. Shot coming right into the glove of Thompson as he sealed off the near side. That one was right into the glove and out, as the Mavericks still with control in the offensive zone. Centering pass right into the pads of Thompson. And we're going to get a stoppage in play with 7:24 remaining. Today's broadcast is brought to you by Crosscheck Podcast. The goal of this podcast is to help hockey players develop elite hockey IQ skills and character through conversations with top players and coaches who integrate faith into competition. Mavericks with possession of the puck in the offensive zone. Much like yesterday, Flo having a tough time getting the puck out. Rohrer coming with the puck. Tries to go to the short side on that one as a rebound right in front by Mormon. Rohrer off the post right into the pads of the Mavericks goalie. One extra move Rohrer made there allowed the forward to back check on him and cause a little bit of disruption. Enough to make that puck go into the post, come back out. As Mormon was there for the rebound, and the Mavericks goalie able to cover it up with 7 minutes remaining in the first period. 1-0 is your score. Flow trailing the Mavericks. Centering pass comes off of Marmon into the far corner as Mavericks send it around to the near side. Picked up at the half wall and sent behind Thompson. Coming out from the right point, Thompson watches that one into the corner. Battle along the boards. As the Mavericks get across center ice, regroup, send it behind Thompson one more time for Marmon to pick up. Mavericks are going to get there first. Not a lot of urgency in the Flow yet this morning, getting to those loose pucks. I don't know if it's the intimidation factor of the Mavericks being a little bit bigger. As a shot comes from Chalupa, that one goes to the end boards. Helping out is Vasquez coming in. Chalupa looking for centering pass. That goes off the stick of Brondike. Out to Rohrer. That's off his stick and into the corner as it's held in by Brondike. Brondike working around the defender. Try to thread the needle over to Vasquez on the far side. Not able to do so. That hits a Maverick player as it's picked up by Vasquez. Knocked off his stick by the Mavericks. Chalupa over to Rohrer. Up to Vasquez off his stick. And the Mavericks pick up the loose puck. As Rohrer's going to pick it up on the near side. Send it far side. Bouncing puck. Picked up by the Mavericks. Gaining the zone. Two people in front. No defense there to help out Thompson. Luckily, Brondike recognized that and picked up one of the players. And that one shot wide. Thompson making the saves that he shouldn't have to in the later stage of the first period. As there's a board battle in the corner on the far side. Brondike turns, fires that right into the pads of a Maverick player, and the Mavericks having to regroup. Davis on the forecheck. Mavericks trying to dance around as Mitzel put into the boards hard behind the net with 4.5 remaining in the period. Held in by Chalupa, battling along the far boards. Tries to get it out to Mitzel, held in by the Mavericks. Dancing along the blue line, waiting for that to be onside as that one's knocked into the corner, down below the face-off circle. Coming in, we're going to have a couple. As Rohrer didn't even play the puck, came in and made a chopping motion. We're going to get a tripping call as soon as the Flow are able to touch the puck. Rohrer, he's going to go to the box, shaking his head, not agreeing with the call, but he did come in and make a chopping motion, and he's going to sit for 2. Going to be the first power play for the Mavericks on the morning, as Rohrer is going to sit for a 2-minute penalty because of tripping, as that comes out to the point for the Mavericks. Playing it. Wow, that was a ripper from the top of the face-off circle by one of the Mavericks player. That thing was lightning. And that one helped out the Flow as that one came all the way down into the Mavericks bench, or excuse me, into their zone, as Rooney tries to tie his man up. And we're going to get offside coming on the Mavericks. Face off outside this Flow zone as the Mavericks come in with it. Marmon off the boards, out to the point. D-to-D passing by the Mavericks on the right side. That defenseman has a howitzer from the point if he gets a hold of that, and that comes off the stick. Brondike on the forecheck. He's the only forward high. Mavericks cutting in. Rooney overplaying, over pursuing his man. That goes down below the goal line. Out to the right point. Now to the left side. Defense trying to, nice pass, touch pass there by the Mavericks player. That one goes just wide of the net. Brondike with the puck. Rooney can't hold on to it, out to the point for the right side. Now to lefty at the top of the faceoff circle, right around the half wall, as Davis is trying to knock him off the puck. Centering pass into the skates of Davis. I don't know if she got up on the stick, got on the puck, or if that was from the Mavericks, but that went wide of the net. 30 seconds remaining in the penalty to Rohrer for tripping, as that comes out to the point, right side shot. Defensive save by Tripp Thompson, as that one came in like a howitzer. Flow not able to get the puck out. Mavericks controlling play in the offensive zone. 10 seconds remaining on the power play. And that one's held in at the zone, at the blue line, at the half wall, cutting in, shot. That's going to hit the skates. And Brondike's going to try and get it out. Into the skates as Rohrer comes out of the box, trying to play that puck as it came out across center ice, trying to pick the pocket of the Mavericks player and try to get an easy goal there. Not able to do so, as the Mavericks are 0 for 1 on the power play. Flow are 1 for 1. Shot coming on the ice as Tripp Thompson turns that one aside. held in by the defense of the Mavericks. Huvestal, Macy with the puck. Gets that one out of the zone. Rohrer knocks that one down. Sends it back to Marmon over to the near side for Huvestal. Centering pass. Looks like the Floor almost forcing their passes into areas where that pass is intended to go is picked up by 2 or 3 other players from the other team. As Vasquez is going to try and get that up to Chalupa, not able to do so off the Maverick stick. That one's high and wide to be picked up by Marmon. Shot, Thompson, nice save. They blew the whistle a little prematurely there as that one popped out of his glove like a frisbee. With inside of a minute remaining in the first period, score is 1-0. Thompson with the save, rebound. Rohrer with the puck off the far side board, going all the way down. We're going to get an icing call on the flow. I don't know if you guys knew this today, but I said a smart aleck comment to my wife this morning, and she slapped me with high frequency. It's still megahertz. Mitchell gets that one off, comes behind Huvestal and Severinsen. Mavericks pick it up. Centering pass. Trying to toe drag around. Poked away by Rohrer. And that one, Rohrer and Severinsen sends that right to Thompson. He's having to make a save that he doesn't need to make. Severinsen with the puck. Huvestal gets it off the boards, and that's going to come all the way down with 5 seconds remaining. As the Mavericks send it behind their net. And that's going to be the end of the first period as the Flow trailing 1-0. Try and drown out the music from the PA system here so we don't get shut down by the algorithm of YouTube. So I hope the music isn't too loud. I hope you guys are enjoying your morning in Bismarck Mandan. Shoot us a comment. Let us know where you're watching from. It's always fun to hear the demographics in which we are covering. How many people are watching? We thank everybody for watching and supporting from afar, wherever you are. Maybe out in the parking lot or at home in your office. Having a nice beverage, a nice latte, cappuccino, or black coffee. Catching up on today's current events. Or sitting in a hockey rink enjoying a hockey game. Flow will be back in action this afternoon at 5 o'clock as they take on the Chiefs from Bismarck. It's always fun to travel this far and play another hometown. Ya da 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 da. First period stats, Mavericks getting on board first at the 12:07 mark of the first period, getting their first goal, and they went 0 for 1 in the power play. With that, we're going to take a quick second here to thank this year's sponsors for helping with camps. We want to thank Statia for watching today. Appreciate the shout out. As our sponsors are Skills Electric, Capital City Construction, Starion Bank, Fish Creek Contracting, Security First Bank, Hollivett and Welk, Nuvation Health Services, Legacy Financial Partners, and Maring Williams Law. And as I stated earlier, all games are brought to you by the podcast Crosscheck, where they uncover the mindset, hockey IQ, and faith principles that help top hockey players and coaches succeed on and off the ice. Puck down in the defensive zone for the Flow as the Maverick come out with it. They're behind the goal line. As there's a scramble in front of the net. And Thompson making the save. .41 remaining. 1-0 is the score. The Flow are head coached by Dane Severson, assisted by Paul Rohrer and Randy Huvestal. Mavericks with the puck into the far corner, out to the left defense. Cutting to the middle, passed over to the right side. They send it down into the corner, be picked up, poke checked away, and I was going to say there's the delayed call coming up on Rohrer for putting his shoulder up in there and catching the player in the numbers. We'll see if they're going to just give him a 2 or if there's going to be more to it. Rohrer going into the box for roughing. That's his second penalty of the game. Flow able to escape getting scored on that first power play of the Mavericks. Second power play for the Mavericks as Severson wins the draw back to Marmon. Taken away by the Mavericks. 2 players in front of the net. One goes down below. The other one circles right in front. Mavericks doing a nice job spreading out the flow. Off the stick as he was looking to wind up on that one and send it to net. Davis tries to get it off the boards. Still battling along the puck. And the Mavericks getting it down low, looking for a give and go. Not there. Picked up by Davis. She has plenty of room. Davis trying to get around the defense. And she's put into the boards. Knocked off the puck. Mavericks pick it up with 13:40 remaining in the second. Down behind their own net with 1:10 remaining on the penalty to Rohrer. And the Mavericks cross center ice, cutting in. Rooney sends his man over to the side. Shot goes wide. Picked up by the Mavericks down below the goal line. Shot coming. And they're able to send that on the glove side right over the pad of Thompson to make it 2-0. That's going to be a power play goal, as that is 1 for 2 for the Mavericks. Thompson not getting help defensively as not covering up. Plus, we also have to stay out of the box. As the faceoff's won by the Mavericks, down into their zone. Behind their own net, Chalupa on the forecheck. 13 minutes remaining in the second period. 2-0's the score. Mavericks on top of the Flow. Rohrer with the puck. Mavericks. And we got a penalty coming up. Rohrer is going to go out of the box for slashing. That is his third penalty second penalty in just as many minutes as he was sitting in the box. .47 remaining in the second period as the Mavericks working down low. Knocked away by Chalupa, cutting over. Has Brondike, and they're going to try, he's going to hit a stick and goes far into the corner. Brondike battling into the corner, taken away by the Mavericks. Nobody attacking. Chalupa should be coming up to be helping the second man. Getting a little bit too far down into the zone. As the Mavericks cutting to the middle, 3 in front. Thompson all by himself. He's got to get help. Nice save by Thompson as he sprawled out there to get a stick on it. As there was 3 Mavericks lurking right in front of him, looking in their jaws for that juicy puck laying right in front. And he's able to turn that one aside. Exactly 12 minutes remaining in the second period. 1 minute, 11 seconds on the penalty to Rohrer. Face-off won by the Mavericks out to the left point. Shot coming from the top of the takeoff circle. That tipped in front. And it's going to be another power play goal for the Mavericks, as penalty problems are plaguing the Flow. 2 for 3 on the power play for the Mavericks. 1 for 3 on the PK. Timeout, Flow. Coach Dane Severinsen going to try and settle his team down here a little bit, see if he can't get some motivation into their skates as we get a timeout on the ice. If you're tuning in to the game as we break out of the timeout, Flow are plagued by penalties, and we've had 2 power play goals by the Minnesota Mavericks to make it 3-0 as both teams break the huddle. See what kind of motivation Coach Severinsen put into the Flow, as Rooney's going to pick the puck up on the far side. Off his stick, tries to poke it back to D. And we got another penalty coming up for interference. That's going to be the first power play for the Flow, as one of the Maverick players goes to the box for interference. Chalupa, Mitzel, and Severinsen out there for the forwards. Defensively, they have Rooney and Rohrer. Rohrer tries to poke that one forward. Mavericks able to poke that one by him. Mitzel, that's off of her pads, and that goes into the corner. She's checked hard. And she gets up. As that was a pretty good check by the Mavericks there. Mitzel taking that one with some stride, but probably a little more excessive than it needed to be. Picked up by Rooney. Rooney mishandles the puck. Picked up by Rohrer, coming down the right side into your living room, getting across into the defensive zone. Shot, that's one turned aside by the Mavericks goalie. I want to say that's maybe his 3rd shot all game. As the Mavericks pick up the loose puck, centering pass, that's going to go off the skates to the far wall. Rooney's going to have to get on his horse to pick up the loose puck. He is able to knock that one away as Vasquez picks it up, getting around Thompson, up and out of reach of Chalupa. Mavericks flip that one down, and it's going to be picked up by Rohrer. 50 seconds remaining in the penalty to the Mavericks, as Rohrer taking his time behind the net. No sense of urgency at this point, as it's picked up by Brondike. Tries to get that up to Vasquez, off his stick, into the Mavericks defensive zone. And Mormon's on the forecheck. Mavericks controlling play even though they're on the power play. Or excuse me, the penalty kill. Over to the far side in the corner. Putting on the brakes. Brondike overskates his player. Picked up by the other defense for the Mavericks. Rower trying to hold that one in. Glove down by the Mavericks. High off the glass. Touched by one of the Maverick players. 6 seconds remaining on the power play for the Flow. Vasquez sends it back to Marmon. Roar getting to the loose puck. He's got to put a little pep in his step if he wants to get there. Mavericks coming across, getting around Vasquez. He picks up the loose puck, turns around to the near side, off the boards, right to one of the Mavericks players. Picked up by Roar. Roar and Chalupa. Chalupa cutting to the middle. Nice pass! Oh, Roar just needed to tip that one. He was right there as Chalupa cut right to the middle, passed it right onto Roar's stick. Roar made the extra move, and just a little too much, and we could have made this a 2-goal game. Another penalty coming up on Roar. Four special teams on the fourth penalty for the Flow. We have Mitzel out there with Severinsen, Huvestal, and Rooney. Mitzel with a nice stick check. Severinsen covering. Rooney with the puck, bats that one forward. Mitzel and Severinsen going for the same player, 3-on-2. Shot coming high, bar down, as Thompson ducked out of the way, and that caught the crossbar. And that makes it 4-0. And that is going to be another power play goal. This would be a 1-goal game if the Flow could stay out of the penalty box with 8:22 remaining in the second period. Some of the Flow experiencing some no confidence as Davis is put into the boards hard. Chalupa cutting in with a shot, blocker save. That one goes into the corner. Hopefully Davis is all right. She got up right away. Marmon over to Huvestal. Tries to get that one up to Davis. Marmon interferes enough with it, gets it up to Mitzel. She gets it around the defender, overskates the puck, picked up by Brondike. Back to the defense, Marmon over to Huvestal, up to Page. Huvestal with the puck, gets a shot on net, easily turned aside with 7.5 remaining. 4-0 is your score. Huvestal getting on the tracks, getting freight train there, but I would give it to her. She stood it up and took the hit that she knew was coming. playing a lot bigger than she is on the ice. Brondike tries to get it up to Page. And they're going to get caught off sides as the guy wasn't even on the ice. Chalupa intentionally waiting for the puck to get across the blue line as he was sitting on the boards, and he got called for offsides. Severson letting the referee know that is still onside as long as he's not touching the ice. Picked up by nobody. As we are waiting. Referee dropped the puck too soon before the Flow could get an extra man on the ice. It's 5-on-5. 6.5 remaining in the second period. Unfortunately, the Flow have been plagued by penalties, which have caused this to be a 4-0 game. Davis trying to get it over to Chalupa, off his stick into the corner. Davis is going in hard. As battling for the puck is Severinson. Coming out to the point for Rooney. That one's going to hit a Maverick player going into the near corner. Rooney bumps his man off the puck into the skates of Severinson. Tries to get it up to Chalupa. Mavericks gain possession of the puck, getting into the offensive zone. Miscommunication there as they lose the puck, and Severinson picks it up. He's going to put on his brakes, turn it behind Thompson. And Mavericks just playing with the puck now down below the goal line. Severinson trying to cut his man off, but he takes a different direction, goes around Severinson, and there's a battle in the near corner. At the half wall, that one's going to come out. Davis on the forecheck. She's going to try and cut her man off. Held in by Brondike. That's going to hit a stick, go to the end board. Picked up by Davis. And the Mavericks going the other way. Huestal with a nice poke check. And they're going to say offsides. Mavericks. 5:03 remaining in the second period. As the Flow trying to dig themselves out of a huge deficit here in the late stages of the second period. Poked forward by the Mavericks, tries to get around two defenders. Huestal stands her man up. That was a nice job by Huestal. He tried to cut in on her, and she just put the body on him, laid him out. Good clean hit by Macy. Coming over to the near side, Macy Huestal picking it off the boards at the half wall. Couldn't quite get her backhand on it as Mitchell sends that down into the Maverick zone. 4.5 remaining in the second period. Huestal over to the far side for Vasquez. Back to Huestal, near side. Over to Vasquez. Brondike with it. Gets it to Vasquez. Tries to get it around the defender. There's one man to beat. And the loose puck picked up by the Mavericks. Huestal, Page doing a nice job. I don't agree with this call at all. As they're going to send Brondike and the Mavericks player into the... Okay, well, they're taking them both at least. A lot of whistles here in the second period. Five on five as the Mavericks getting by all the defense. Skating in, centering pass just out of reach of the other forward, crashing the net. Nice save by Thompson as he's able to close it off right over the top of his glove, or excuse me, over his leg pad. That's where the other 2 goals came in. Thompson able to shut the short side, tongue twister there, to shut off the short side. Mavericks bounce puck right in front. Thompson gets a glove on it. And I don't know how that squirted through. That one came off the post. Not sure if Thompson made a move there, but the referee saw something that we didn't in the stands, and that's going to be the 5th goal. Flo making a goalie change. Xander taking over for Thompson. Thompson fought the first period and a half as best as he could as the Flo were in penalty issues and didn't get the support that he needed there. So we want to Thompson doing a nice job where he could in the net. Mormon with the shot, bouncing puck in front, goes into the corner. Chalupa turns aside. He gets worked off the puck, pushes that one forward to be picked up by Severinson. He gets knocked off the puck. Poke checked away by Vasquez. Somebody's got to bit back and pick up that middleman. Mormon watching it happen in the corner. He should have been down low, taking up that loose man right into the slot area, and that pass came from the hash marks right in front, and the Maverick player able to get his backhand on it. Xander puts a save on it, but Mormon just kind of railroad tracking it in from the blue line to the top of the slot area, allowing that Maverick player just to skate in freely, and Xander able to shut the door on it with 3:13 remaining in the second. That one comes out of the play and all the way down, and Mavericks goalie having to make a play on it, sends it to the far wall, poked forward by Huistal. Davis trying to poke check that one away. Picked up by the Mavericks, cross center ice. Get around Vasquez. Mitzel shoulder checking, tries to pass, backhand pass that one, and it's taken away by the Mavericks. As the Mavericks players squish it into the board on the far side, and Mitzel taking into the boards hard. She lets the player know that she's not okay with that. She takes the puck away, gets it to this side. Shot coming in front. Xander, she turns that away. High off the glass, bouncing puck out to the point once again. Xander making 3 saves, consecutively 4 saves now, as there's 2:14 remaining in the second period. Out to the right point. Down low, shot coming, centering pass. That one gets to the end boards, and the Mavericks doing what they want against the Flow, spreading them out to the point. That one's going to go off its mark all the way down the length of the ice as Paige Huistal's on the forecheck. Huistal needs some puck support as Chalupa comes off the bench to try and help out. The Mavericks able to pick up the loose puck, cutting to the middle. And they say no icing. Mavericks behind their own net, hit it into the corner. Toe drag around one player, picking up the swinging D-man. He doesn't have the speed, but he sure has the hands and the shot as he gets it up to the D. Sent down below the goal line. Centering pass comes up to Mormon. Up to Chalupa, cutting to the middle. Chalupa has the speed. Chalupa coming in. Shot and a goal by Chalupa! Ryan Chalupa with his first goal of the tournament and the game, as there was a nice assist by Gavin Mormon to make it a 5-1 hockey game with 1 minute 4 seconds remaining in the first period. Ryan Chalupa with his first goal of the tournament to make it a 5-1 game. Shot coming, Xander sends that one into the corner with 47 seconds remaining. Still a lot of time left in this game. I've seen teams think that they've had it in the bag, and they have lost by 1 goal. Marmon inadvertently passes that right to the Mavericks player. Vasquez knocks his man off the puck. 27-second shot redirected by Mitzel's stick. Goes into the corner. Davis tries to bat that one away. Held up at the boards. Picked up by Huvestal. We have too many players wanting the puck at this time. Not spreading out. And Vasquez is on the forecheck with Huvestal. That one shot wide of the net. 5 seconds remaining in the period. And that's going to be the end of 2 as your Flow are trailing 5-1. Chalupa getting the goose egg off the scoreboard as Mormon was able to feed him the puck. Chalupa had the speed. He was able to beat both defenders from the Mavericks to get his first goal of the game. We want to thank everybody for watching today's broadcast coming from Plymouth Ice Center in Plymouth, Minnesota. As we thank our sponsors for today's game and the season that we've been having: Capital City Construction, Fish Creek Contracting, Hollivett and Welk, Legacy Financial Partners, Maring Williams Law, Nuvation Health Services, Security First Bank, Starion Bank, Skills Electric. And of course, all these games are brought to you by the podcast Crosscheck. The goal of this podcast is to help hockey players develop elite hockey skills and character through conversations with top hockey players and coaches who integrate faith into competition. 44 seconds remaining in the intermission period. Some light shed on a penalty-stricken game for the Flow, as we have had 5 penalties. 1 that was coincidental, and the Mavericks able to capitalize on 3 of those penalties, making it 4-0. And then shortly, moments ago I should say, Ryan Chalupa getting on the board for the Flow. As I mentioned earlier, the Flow will be back on the ice tonight at 5 p.m. for their 3rd game of the tournament. They will be playing against a team from Bismarck, the Chiefs. So make sure that you grab that beverage of choice. Find your cozy chair, whether it be underneath the pergola on the deck, in the man cave, or throw us on the ear pods as you go for a walk, as we will bring that to you once again from Plymouth. Mavericks with the puck. That one hit a referee, and we're going to get outside. Chalupa was already in the zone as that one hit the referee, and Brondike picked it up. Hard to compete with the music on the PA system today. I'm just going to let that one play, as the faceoff was won by the Flow, but Chalupa sent it all the way down. Take it away by the Mavericks. Picked up by Rooney near side. Tries to get that one for the Chalupa. We got a penalty coming up, and that's going to be on, looks like the Mavericks, as Brondike number 87 from looks like he's the penalty-plagued player from the Mavericks, as Rohr is the one from the Flow currently. Doesn't look as if the coaches from the Minnesota Mavericks quite agreeing with that call. But nonetheless, the faceoff is taking place to the left side of the Mavericks goalie as Mitzel tried to walk in on it. She has it in the corner. Centering pass is going to come out to the point, just out of reach of Rooney. as Vasquez picks it up on the far side. Out of reach of Huvestal. Mitzel trying to get there for the forecheck as the Mavericks send that one out of the zone into Vasquez, picked up by Rooney. To Vasquez, up to Mitzel, getting across center ice to the far side, Huvestal. Davis coming in, shot coming, oh! If there would have been another 6 inches on that open ice there, she would have got one as she tried to slide it on the ice. And the goalie from the Mavericks making a nice save, sliding across the crease as Davis received the pass from Huvestal. Mavericks more worried about getting the offsides called than playing the all-girls line. And they nearly snuck one in. As Chalupa's on the forecheck. Mavericks cross center ice. Poke checked away by Vasquez. Somebody has some delicious smelling coffee right next to me. I smell it. Marmon gets that up and past Brondike. And the Mavericks pick it up in their own zone. No sense in urgency on the Mavericks as they're going to kill the penalty. Surprised that wasn't icing, because last night it was icing. Push forward by Mitzel. And the Mavericks send it behind the net. And out, chipped out. Marmon's going to pick it up in his own defensive zone to the near side. Nope, he's going to reverse it. Off of Severinson's stick. And that bounces in behind the net of Xander. 12:39 remaining in regulation as it's 5-1. Flow are trailing. Mavericks send it to the far side, picked up by Brondike. He's going to try and thread the needle, gets it off of Mitzel's skates, picked up by out to the point. Huvestal sends that to the half wall. She upends her man, takes a huge hit. Mitzel with it on the left side. Centering pass over to Huvestal, shot. That one looked for the 5-hole. As the Mavericks are full strength. And the Mavericks holding it along the near wall, getting down below Xander, centering pass. That one misses its mark, comes all the way out. Mavericks having to regroup. 7:39 remaining in the third period. As Huvestal picks up the loose puck, sends it down to Mormon. Sends a cross ice pass to Macy Huvestal. Trying to thread the needle over to Chalupa. That would have been a nice pass if that would have got through. He would have been able to sneak by the defense as Brondike sends that into the zone, but a quick heads-up play as Chalupa knocks his man down. Severinson getting around one man. Has 10 to beat. Shot coming. That's going to hit the skates of one of the Maverick players. Held in by Rooney. Picked up by Brondike. Shot. He's knocked off his skates just as he was winding up. And that's going to hit a player on the Mavericks bench. Hit a player on the bench. Hit somebody on the bench. Face off to the right side of the Mavericks goalie. Picked up by Mitzel. Try to get it out to Rooney, and that was through his stick and off the boards. He picks it up, and the Mavericks delayed offsides. Huvestal doing a nice job. I think she just went and apologized for knocking him over. That's funny. Getting it up to Huvestal. She's coming in all by herself. Needs the puck support as Mitzel comes in. Picked up off the half wall. Mitzel knocked off the puck. Rooney trying to poke that one forward. Not able to do so. As the Mavericks send it over to the far side on the penalty box, and they're going to send that one out. 10 minutes remaining as the shot's going to come. Oh, poke checked away by Marmon. That one's, Xander can't get across. Xander, she's having issues keeping that stick off her pads. That's like a big trampoline coming off there. Huge rebound. And that makes it 6-1. And another goal. I wasn't watching what happened there as I was distracted by something else. Makes it 7-1. Severinsen taking the draw. He's knocked over. Chip forward to Chalupa. And we're going to have a high stick coming up on Brondike. That is going to be the fifth power play for the Mavericks. Mavericks down below the goal line. Cross ice pass, that's going to hit the sideboards. As Brondike goes to the box for roughing or high sticking. Mavericks working the puck around, getting the flow out of their box formation, over pursuing. Walking right in, shot, Xander makes the save. Held in by the Mavericks. To the right point, try to pick the short side, Xander glove save. That one goes to the end boards, pops out. Centering pass, that one's going to come all the way to center ice with just over a minute on the penalty to Brondike. Mitzel battling down low. She needs some puck support. She's there by herself. Now Huvestal coming down. Nice job by Huvestal. Stick check that one away. Mitzel cycling it with her. And that one's sent to the near side for the Mavericks to pick up cross center ice. They're going to send it down around behind Xander with 7:30 remaining in the third period. 7-1 is the score. Off the skates of Vasquez. Battle along the near boards, pops out, held in at the blue line. Shot coming, blocker saved by Xander. Huvestal, she sends that one out as we're gonna get a penalty coming up on the Mavericks. Severinsen voicing his displeasure of the coaching from the Mavericks as those guys are coming in a little bit high. Face off down to the left side of the Mavericks goalie. As we await, we are now in run time. Hustal with a shot from the point. Brondike coming out of the box, now 5-on-4 for the next minute 50 seconds. Severinsen getting rubbed off the puck. Rooney off his stick. Brondike coming in, helping out Rooney. As Huvestal gaining some speed. Headman pass up to Chalupa off his stick. Picked up by the Mavericks, 5.5 remaining. 7-1 with 1:15 remaining on the power play for the... We got another penalty coming up. Penalty-ridden game by both teams now. Getting Brondike for interference. That negates the power play. The Mavericks win the faceoff. That's going to hit the leg pads of Mitzel. She has one man to beat, poking it forward. She's still with it. Still has the puck in the corner. Nice job protecting against the defenseman on that. But the puck is quickly taken away. As she's working and trying to help out is Huvestal. Rooney with the puck, cutting to the middle. Mitzel trying to pick up the puck. Nice job by Huvestal to play the body on that one as number 75 from the Mavericks was lining her up. She stood her ground. She widened her legs just enough that she was able to keep that center of gravity. And she didn't let him knock her down with 4 minutes remaining. Paige Huvestal with the puck. It's going to send that down the length of the ice, and they're going to say no ice. Five on four for the next minute as the Mavericks have the puck. Vasquez going to go down below the goal line, try to pick it up. He knocks his man out of the boards. I'm surprised there's no call. Davis coming up on it. She's going to lose it as a back checker was right there. I don't think she knew he was coming. Referee gets in the way as Chalupa battles along the far boards. Right at the penalty box. And no call coming up on Chalupa. There's going to be the call. Chalupa getting away with a tripping call as the Mavericks going to the box. 2:47 remaining. Brondike's going to get out of the box. Mavericks with the puck, dangling to the face-off circle, poked down into the corner as Mormon tries to knock his man off the puck. Brondike with it up to Mitzel. Trying to poke that one around. That one comes out to the point. That one hits a stick, goes to the end boards and picked up by Vasquez, it looks like. Right to the player from Minnesota. Coming out with it is Chalupa, 1:20 remaining. 1 minute remaining on the power play. That one hits one of the sticks from the Mavericks, goes into the corner, taken away by Huvestal. Picked up by the Mavericks. They send that the length of the ice. Zanner sends that one. Chalupa with it. Back to Vasquez. Puck knocked away to Davis. As the Mavericks trying to get it out. Get it to center ice, picked up by Davis. Miscommunication between Davis and Chalupa. And the Mavericks get the loose puck, picked up by Vasquez near side. 6 seconds remaining on the power play, 25 remaining in the game. Over to the far side for Huvestal, gets it up to Chalupa across center ice. Knocked off his skates. Mitchell tripped over the stick, and 6 seconds remaining. That one pops off of Xander's pads right into her glove. As the Mavericks defeat the Flow, score 7-1. Flow will be back on the ice this afternoon at 5 p.m. Hopefully they will be able to recover from a penalty-plagued game, as we will keep it here for the handshake line and the prayer circle afterwards. Today's broadcast is brought to you by the podcast Crosscheck. The goal of this podcast is to uncover the mindset, hockey IQ, and faith principles that helped top hockey players and coaches succeed on and off the ice. You're watching Flow Hockey, brought to you by the Beauty Hockey League. I'm your host, Tim Zander, saying we will see you tonight at 5 p.m.